but Spirit handled me because Spirit knows me so well. The way Spirit handles me is so beautiful and loving. It could make me cry. That it put me in this environment because it knew that's what I needed to be able to do this work that I needed to do, to be able to do what I'm doing now.
Hey, my dear friend. I am so excited for today's conversation. I have Pamela Downes, who is a new old friend. The best way to describe this is Pamela and I met a week ago at an incredible event, the Awaken Leadership Summit. And I felt immediately like we knew each other for years and years and lifetimes and lifetimes. We had already had this scheduled. And now today I'm so excited. Pamela is a trans channel. She's an energy healer, a spiritual guide. She is a fabulous woman and somebody that I'm just so excited for you to get to know. So put on your seatbelt. She agreed to channel a message at the end. So make sure you hang in with us. And I just have to say, Pamela, this is just so much fun. I'm so stoked you're here. Welcome to the You-est podcast.
I was so excited to be here. I've been waiting since last week for this week to get here finally.
Awesome.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. It was like immediate. I felt like I've known you forever and ever and ever. And in a whole room filled with people, you and I like always migrated to each other. We're like kids in high school, like we're talking and we shouldn't be talking. And we're talking at church or something. It was so fun.
It was so fun. And, this is something I want to say to everyone listening because I really believe, we have soul families. We have people that, and both of us being, past the 5-0 point, like we can meet soul family at any time of our lives. And this is something I love about this path of deeper connection in enlightenment, opening our consciousness, being in our heart. Like I really felt like I had literally known you. I saw you and I'm like, first of all, I think I'm interviewing you, which is so fun. And second of all, how do we not know each other? And
I
so
know.
paying attention for those listening, pay attention to the people you're meeting like this. And you're like, huh? You feel like soul family, like a friend that I've known forever, a soul sister, soul brother, whatever it is. There's something about that. And that was just immediate with you.
Yeah, and you're like, I think that you're going to be on the podcast soon, and I'm like, I don't know, like I think so too. I remember doing it. I'm not sure when it is, and it was a week. It was exactly a week
Yeah.
from that day. Yeah, and I find that I mean, we live near each other, which is
Yes.
incredible. Like it's so funny because I just moved to this area about 2 years ago, and I was telling Spirit like I need to find friends. I don't have friends in this area. And then what did I say to you that day? Will you be my friend? Can we hang out?
I loved it. It reminded me when I was like 10 and I was like, I wish I had a friendship bracelet. I'd give you
Right?
one.
I would give you half of the heart so you could wear it.
Totally. Instead, we had Palo Santo. I think we got those.
Right, right.
And
Yeah.
someone did give us some pens. But other
Yeah.
than that, I would have made you a friendship bracelet out of like, the whatever
Yeah.
that like plastic stuff was.
Yeah. With all the multicolors.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. I think there is something about really when we're following, I call,
Mm.
God, good orderly direction is one other way to say it, or those nudges. And it's like, this is the kind of thing we can expect. Okay, so that was just, and it's been such a delight because I'm like, oh my gosh, this long lost old new friend,
Yeah.
hello, like
Yeah.
since we were 5 is what it feels like. I love it. So for you, and I want to say this because what I'm noticing more and more, myself included, is so many of us, so many people on this path that are discovering and uncovering their gifts, healing gifts, connecting into spirit in ways you didn't fathom or didn't think would happen.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your story because what I do know is it wasn't like you set out, to college to become a trans channel. Like that was not on the list.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't on the list of things I want to be when I grow up. It wasn't even an idea or a concept. Um, yeah, it's so interesting, right? And I'm going to be talking about that this weekend in San Diego. It's like all the things that we did in our life up until this point they all are meaningful. They all served a purpose. They all curated this masterpiece that is our life. And we don't know what we're doing at the moment that we're doing it. We really don't. We get all these opportunities, as the guides say, we come here joyfully to experience life, to have experiences, to make choices, to have contrast, to learn and expand our soul. So some of those decisions that you make throughout your journey, the September channel message from the council talks about looking back at the different versions of yourself, the teen, the young adult, the mid adult, all the versions, and knowing that you showed up exactly with everything that you had at that moment, respecting it, honoring it, having grace for it, and having I'd say giving you even more courage to move forward now, because as we're awakening, as we're moving forward and listening and listening and listening and expanding and really diving deep into our soul work in our 50s, we do honor some of those decisions we had to make. And it gives us the courage now to make even harder ones and to dive into the pool of I'm leaving fear. I'm diving into courage. I'm doing something that I've never done before. And I'm going to do it because I know I can do it because I've done it before. And I know I'm going to be okay. And it's going to open up and align me even more to what my future has in store for me. And who knows what that is, right? There's probably so much there that we can't even fathom. So it's exciting. We were just talking about the creative aspects of ourselves. And I love that your mom was an opera singer, because I always knew that I could be an opera singer, because I have this capacity inside of myself to hold large amounts of air and to really be strong in projection. But I never sang until I was 37. But what I was really good at was art and music when I was a kid. It was super sensitive and creative. And I grew up in a household that was an Italian Catholic background. And I enjoyed that very much. I was close to my family. My grandparents were really close in our life. My mom's parents, very loving and filled with tradition. And I went to a private Catholic school, and, it was all, our life was curated for us. So we grew up in that, and we didn't know any better at those moments in our life. But I also had contrast with my dad. He was an alcoholic, and he was angry, and he was verbally and physically abusive. And so my home was not a safe place. I wasn't by any means like some of the stories we heard last week, where I wasn't on the street, and I wasn't dealing with homelessness, and I wasn't dealing with really, really difficult, extreme situations, but I did not feel safe. And I was afraid of my father. And, those experiences, they kind of create our self-worth. They create our confidence. They leave little, what I call kind of scratches or tarnishes on our soul body. They're experiences that affect us, that, leave things in our chakras and kind of form who we are. That's the experience that we asked for. And then as we get older and we travel on our journey of life, and we start to go through the seasons and the decades and learn who we are and see how we show up with others, and start to express that self-courage and, gain more of ourselves, we start to sometimes, not always, maybe start doubting things or questioning things, or saying, maybe I don't think that way anymore, or maybe I don't know if I think that way, and what do I think, and those sorts of things. So that started happening in, I would say, my late 30s. I did everything I was supposed to do, as many of us have, as many women that are our age have, everything that's expected, everything that's involved in tradition, everything that's involved in societal structures that have been created for us, and having the babies and living in the right school systems, and you know what I mean? All the things. But then there gets a point where, in my experience, I just started not resonating with things. Love became this thing that really wanted to be witnessed and seen. And it started with religion. I just couldn't understand the religion that I was brought up in. It had so much fear, didn't it? you think about it like there were all these rules, there were all these things you couldn't do. And if you did these things, then you were going to go to hell. And, you had to fear God, you had to fear, breaking a rule. And if you, crossed over and you were in front of God, he was going to determine whether or not you had eternal damnation or eternal life. And I was like, if God is love, those two things, they just don't go together. And so I decided to just kind of put a halt on everything and say, I don't know what I believe. And now I have little kids and I'm supposed to, tell them what to believe in. And if I don't believe in this, I can't put it in front of them. So they're like the things, Julie, that just started what I think people are going through right now, the breakdown.
Yeah.
They're not resonating and they're finding their voice. These little tiny acts of courage to say, I want something more. I want something different. I want something meaningful. I want something higher. I want something, whatever the something is. And I talk about that as the beginning of your spiritual awakening journey, because you're starting to punch holes in your perception of your reality. Everyone's is individual and unique. And once you see that hole poked and you see through and you see something different, then you're like, what else is there? And you just, you start poking holes everywhere. And then new realizations come in and new experiences come in, new understandings come in, all these things. And that's when I started learning about frequency, Yeah, it's a big one. The law of attraction, those sorts of things. I was going through what I call my knockdown, and I gave it a name because it was like you were just talking about everything's backwards or upside down or inside out. That was, that was what happened in my life. The recession came, my whole entire little picture perfect world. I had all the right, boxes checked and everything was lovely and everyone was doing well and living in the right zip code and driving the right car and having the right things and all the stuff that we're told we're supposed to have. The recession came, my husband lost his job, I had my own business, and just everything overnight flipped. And that was like the most unsettling, ungrounding experience, because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how you're going to pay the bills. You don't know how you're going to live in your home. You don't know how you're going to move forward because you had everything so figured out, right? And when that happened, I remember there was one of those moments where I had to express my spirit. I had to listen to that higher guidance and that intuition that I really didn't know I had. I didn't know what to call it. I didn't have a label for it. I knew I did it once or twice in my life before, with big, huge decisions. But I decided that I was trying to sell my home and we couldn't sell it in the recession. It was the worst real estate market. No one would buy it. And something said, put it up for rent. And I was like, we can't carry this house for 1 month. We will be bankrupt. We don't have it to do that. But I wasn't spiritual. I don't know why. I've had this full, strong feeling to do that. Out of nowhere, this renter came. It was the father of someone that my ex-husband had been doing some work on in his home. He was moving to the area. He said, I heard your house is for rent. I want to rent it for a year. Gave us exactly what we needed to cover everything. And my mind is a year. What's going to happen in a year? That's, a year's going to be come and gone. And we did it. And we carried the house. And then when the year was up, someone else came out of nowhere. And it was another doctor. And he's like, I want to rent your house. We didn't even list it. Somehow it was on some website somewhere. And he reached out to us. And it got covered another year, or actually 2 more years. By the time that house was ready to go back on the market, my whole entire life had changed. I had found the law of attraction. I had found Esther, and she was channeling Abraham. I didn't really know what channeling was, but I was listening to the words, and she was talking about you are the creator of your reality, and your words and your actions have power. You're creating what you get for your future. And I realized I was beating the drum of lack, of lack, of lack, over and over and over again, telling everybody what was wrong with my life. My husband lost his job. Our house wouldn't sell. My business was slow. All the suffering was just continually coming out. When I realized, it was like this bam, aha moment. Like, are you kidding me? I got to turn it upside down. I got to flip it. And I started talking about the amazing experience that happened. This person rented our house, and we found this tiny little house in our zip code so my kids could walk to school. It didn't disrupt their life that much. We were all together, and I could walk them, and I was with them, and I was spending more time. Like, I would talk about the blessings, and I called it my blessing house. That's when everything started changing. Like, opportunities would come to me, things I didn't even know that I needed. And it's kind of amazing, right? Because look where I am today. It's 10 years later. In 2 months, it's 10 years later. I'm a completely different person. I'm doing completely different work. I have a completely different life. Like, everything is different. And you just don't know that you're on that journey. You just don't know, but you're listening and you're looking at the breadcrumbs and you're gobbling them up and you're saying, and you're seeing things change in your life. They become the witness. You become the witness of the evidence of it. And my marriage was I had all these things happening at the same time, all these discs going, like all the spinning plates. My marriage was changing. My work was changing. My spirituality was changing. And I was starting to wake up. I got an invitation to the psychic medium gallery. And my religious beliefs were changing. Everything was changing. And I got a ticket that was fully paid to go to this mediumship gallery. We didn't have $75 to throw around. We just didn't. And this woman was like, I was supposed to go to this thing. It's yours, a ticket, if you want to go. And I was like, yeah, I want to go. Someone watch the kids. It all just aligned effortlessly and easily. And I was interested. Well, I walked in and I remember I went right front and center, didn't try. And the man, this guy, Rich Branconi, who became my spiritual teacher for about 10 years, he just started talking about what the night was going to be like. And he said, I want everyone to put their hands on their their knees, and this is what's going to happen. And I'm probably going to come over to you. And he goes, like, you, for instance, your father's here. And I was like, I was gobsmacked. Like, was he talking to me? And he said, your father died of a liver or alcohol, right? And I said, yeah, he did. And he goes, or I might go to you. And he just walked over to this other person. And my friends were like, what just happened? I'm like, I don't know what just happened. So we got started. And then he goes, I have to come back over to you. Your father's here. He wants you to know how talented you are. He never told you how talented you are. He never did. I was in music and art. I went to art school. And he said he was terrible to you. And he's so sorry. He's asking for your forgiveness. He never told you that he loved you. Like, all these specifics that you cannot deny. And he said, he sees how you're showing up in your life. And I had just started changing, and he goes, he sees, he wished he could have done better. And that was it. From that moment on, it was like, there is life after this meat suit. There is life. And I couldn't get enough. I was in the metaphysical section of the library, devouring everything. I was on YouTube. I wanted to have new conversations, new experiences, new friends, new everything. It got upside down again. And that was the beginning of really diving into my spiritual awakening journey. When I had that little piece of breadcrumb that came to me, then I somehow found a client that had lunch. We had lunch together. And she's like, I'm reading this new book by Dr. Weiss, Many Lives, Many Masters. I'm like, so am I. Our heads were, it was like when you and I met, we were totally in line. She's like, I just started this. And I was like, I just started this. And it was, I wanted to know more. I wanted to do more. She started doing yoga. And I had never done yoga before. I went right into Bikram yoga, which is crazy. I was doing 90 minutes in 104 degrees. What was I doing? But it was new. I wanted to discover these things. But it brought me to Yoga Nidra. And Yoga Nidra brought me to this meditative state and taught me how to do the ocean breath, and I started having colors in the peripherals of my eyes, and all I wanted to do was meditations. All I wanted to do was see more, experience more. I'd be dropping my kids off at gymnastics, sitting in the parking lot with the meditation music. Like, I wanted it. I just wanted. And I met this woman. She came to my yoga studio. She was my friend who owned the yoga studio's sister. And she was hippie, and she was beautiful, and she was like so mysterious and cool. And we had the same experience you and I had. She was like, "Who are you? And what do you do? And where are you from?" And I was like, "Who are you?" We wound up going to this, I think it was a vision board workshop or something. We talked the whole entire time. We became friends. She wound up leaving corporate America. She was Forbes 30 under 30 in New York City, sustainability expert. She left it all, walked away from a dream job to go to the mountains and to do ayahuasca with the indigenous people. And she came back and she's like, "Pamela, you have a branding and marketing firm. Will you help me start my website and my brand for my business?" And I said, "Sure." And now I had been going to see that guy, Rich Branconi, every 6 months. I was starting to get guidance about my life. My grandmother was coming through. I was about to end my marriage. I ended my marriage. I was seeing the contract end. I was feeling the pull. It's what I'm going through now with leaving the one business to go to the other. I'm feeling the squish. I'm feeling it. And that's what I felt. And I remember being in my office in my home, like sitting in the corner, just crying and suffering, releasing. It was closure. And through that, leaving the marriage and through meeting Kelly, I wound up doing trade with her. And she said, "I'm putting a retreat together down in Costa Rica. You want to do the last bit of trade and you can go to the retreat?" And I was like, hell yeah. I mean, I was a new single woman. I wanted to do all the things. And I went down. It was my first, like, not a Thelma and Louise moment, but like, I'm going to a foreign country by myself on a mountain to do this crazy stuff. I'm so cool. And, and I went. I really didn't want to learn about Reiki, but I kept feeling the pull to go. So when I went there, I learned about myself. I learned about the chakras. I learned about me being an empath, which I didn't know. I learned about my energy and how I showed up my entire life, and suddenly everything made sense. Why did I get so affected by energy? Why did my ex-husband's family make me crazy? And why did I have to start Zoloft like right in the beginning of my marriage because of anxiety? Whoa, I suddenly understood myself so much. And I loved being with these like independent women from all over the world and learning this stuff. And monkeys were near the window. Like, it was so cool, Julie. At the end of that retreat, there was an attunement, an initiation. And during that initiation, Kelly she was embedding the symbols or something. I don't practice Reiki, so I don't even remember. I had a past life come through my throat chakra. My head was flung back. I was getting strangled by a rope. I was foaming at the mouth. And it was like, what the frick is happening? It was so scary. Not everybody has this, but I have it because I've been trying to do this for so many of my lifetimes. And it's awakening for here and now and whatever's to come in the next part of my chapter of my life, here and now. It was such a moment. One of the moments that you just can't deny, just like the psychic mediums telling me about my dad. It was, there is something major here to continue on this path of discovery. I have to. I get to. I want to. I need to. You know what I mean? And that just started more and more and more. And as I was going through all of this, I was meeting the right people. And I was also, continuing to do the discovery and watching videos and seeing things. And I saw this video of Gerald Powell. He was a hotelier. You saw him with like all the housewives of LA and stuff like, that whole time of our life. Saw him on a video, and he was talking about how he was addicted to drugs, sex, gambling, alcoholic, everything. And he was really literally at his end. And a friend challenged him, who was going to do plant medicine, challenged him and said, you should do this. And he's like, I don't need to. She goes, I knew you were going to say that. And he did it. And he cured himself. He revealed a molestation from his grandfather, a memory that was deeply embedded in him. And he released it, and he healed all of his addictions. He took all of his skills of being a hotelier, and he opened this retreat center down in Costa Rica. The moment I saw it, it was like, pow, pow, pow. I'm going there. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I know that I am going there. People would talk about different things, and I would say, oh, I'm going to Rhythmia. I'm going there. And they're like, you're going, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know when I'm going, but I most definitely know that I'm going there. I got the opportunity to do trade with this woman. Came by, like, all these things just kept aligning. So I did trade with this woman. And then she said, Pamela, you know what? My company's looking for somebody to do marketing. Would you be interested? And I said, absolutely. So I was working with her and her company, and she said, you know what? We have a symposium down in Florida. I would love for you to come. There's 2 of them. You can come to one of them. Which one would you like to go? I'll go to this one. So we down in Florida. I walk into this big symposium room, all the people there. The owner of the company was at the front of the room. I had worked on his things. I had seen his photos, but I didn't ever meet him, never on a Zoom or anything. I walked up to him and I went, Steve, hi, I'm Pamela. I'm working on your marketing with Rayanne. It's so nice to meet you. He turned around, looked at me, and this energy came through both of our crown chakras and went out our hearts and went. And he looked at me and he goes, do you feel that? And I said, I do. Like, it was, I couldn't even look at him in the eyes, Julia. It was like, it was so like, it was just so strange. So the symposium goes on, and I'm there, like, doing all the things. Can't get this, I'm with my business partner. Can't get this experience out of my mind. I'm trying to pay attention. I'm like, what was that? So we talked, and, I got to know him. I went home. I'm sitting in front of my computer working. I'm on a Zoom call. My phone rings, and it's this strange number. I can't answer it because I'm on a call. I put it down, but I hear Steve. Steve. And all of my senses were starting to open, in between all these experiences. So I called him back. Or he left me a message, and he said, Pamela, it's Steve. I'm just calling because I want to talk about that experience that we had. I want to learn more about it. And so I called him, and we were talking, and he goes, I don't normally talk to people about this, especially in business. He goes, but I'm on my way down to go to do ayahuasca in the jungle. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, you normally talk to colleagues about this. And I said, well, I'm going to do ayahuasca too. I'm going to Rhythmia Life Advancement Center, but I don't know when I'm going. And he goes, Pamela, I'm going there in November with my group that I'm a member of. And I was like, no, you're not. And he's like, yes, I am. Like, nobody's talking about that. No one was talking about ayahuasca or Rhythmia at all. We wound up becoming really good friends. And I kept hearing, he's going to invite you to go. He's going to invite you to go. And I'm like, well, we'll see if he does. It's his decision, right? I never said anything. He said to me, Pamela, I'm getting guidance that I'm supposed to invite you to go to this. One of the guys who's on the board there, or I think he's part owner, I don't remember, is in my group. And they're closing the whole place down, and there's going to be 40 high conscious people there. I would love for you to be my guest. You have to find your way there and everything. But you'll love the people, and, I'd love for you to come. And I was like, I didn't have to figure it out. That's how important the work that I am here doing right now is. And I know that. So every time, like you and I talked about my presentation coming up that I'm scared, and frightened about, but it's another one of those moments that I have to move forward through. And I wound up going. I wound up actually not sure how I was going to pay for it. I'm a newly divorced woman carrying my house and all the things myself, and coming off of the recession. And, I got a tax return check that was exactly what I needed to go. And instead of getting a roof or HVAC, I went to Rhythmia. It doesn't make sense, but it makes all the sense in the world. And I wound up going down there, Julie. There were times when I was with these, like, they're a part of this group. Yonik's in it too. They're part of this group, and they've been out working, teaching, writing books, leading spirituality, and doing all these things. And I kept saying, why am I here? Why did you put me here? Like, I know why, because I'm sort of a scaredy cat, and I needed to be in a closed space without, normally there's 100 people there with addiction and all kinds of stuff, and all kinds of things are flying around when you do plant medicine. That's a whole other podcast. But Spirit handled me because Spirit knows me so well. The way Spirit handles me is so beautiful and loving. It could make me cry, that it put me in this environment because it knew that's what I needed to be able to do this work that I needed to do, to be able to do what I'm doing now, which is, after a week-long journey with this plant medicine, which was super intentional, super sacred, very difficult for me because I had a lot of fear to work through. At the end of four nights of doing it multiple times, I released so much trauma. I released so much past life, this life. I had so many realizations about my father, my mother, like myself. I took energetic cords from my children that were already passed on through my DNA to them. Like, I did so much. It was amazing. At the end of that week, we did a breathwork class, and this white light came through my third eye, filled my whole body up with vibration, and my teeth were buzzing, and I just felt love in its entirety. And I heard, your psychic abilities have been enhanced. Everything from this moment forward will be different. And I came home, and it was 2020, and the world shut down, and I had this bank of time. Everything was different. Nobody was doing 9 to 5 normal, and everyone, it was just different. And I had this opportunity to sit every morning with intention and say, I want to continue to do what we did before. I want to explore it. I want to understand it. I want to work together. I want to co-create. Not I want to see a butterfly or a rainbow or, all the things. I want to co-create and discover and work together. And by doing that, this beautiful group of angelic feminine beings came in. They were effervescent, and bubbly and light, so loving. And when they would come in and they would talk, I could hear them in my head. Whenever they came in, I knew that I was about to do hard soul work, like the work I did in Costa Rica, releasing the trauma from my energy body. And I did over and 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 over again. I recorded it all and I wrote it all down. I went through so many past life deaths. I experienced the actual physicality of it. I had to, if you could hear some of these things, thank God my neighbors were not anywhere near, and it wasn't summer and the windows weren't open, like I had to physically feel it. I had to release the feelings of it. I had to release the emotions of it. I had to release all of the energy of it. And then I would cry and I would understand the magnitude of what it was that I just went through. And then the effervescent beings would come in. It was absolutely beautiful. When I did that each time, my frequency kept rising. I use this because it's the only other way I know how to do it. I kept raising my frequency. So my vibration was raising, and my opportunity to connect to beings in different dimensions and different frequencies was more available to me. And I continually did that. And I remember the day that this thread of light language, like a lightning bolt sort of, but in a thread, came down. And it came down and it went into the side of my head. And I have it recorded. I heard, like, it came right in. That was the beginning of my connection to the Great Council of Light. They are so high, super high frequency, that it took many, many months of intentional co-creation to make this integration happen, because I had to heighten mine, they had to lower theirs, and we had to have this transfer of energy that took practice. It took practice over and over and over and over and over and over again. And there was this physicality that I'm still dealing with. There's a last bit of stuff that's stuck in my throat chakra, and I know that it will eventually just go like this. They've told me. But we worked together, and I was listening because I was going to share it at this presentation. I was listening to the very beginning recordings of me and them, and they have this catchphrase, we are here, we're happy to be here, yes indeed we are here. And there's this one recording where they're like, we are, and they're trying to, they're trying to get the words out. And it makes me laugh because it's so funny, but it also makes me feel humbled to the work because I see how far it's come, you know? So that was, that was most of 2020 and 2021. But in 2020, I started having, with that, knowings, feeling, sensing. I would have visions. I'm an artist, so I would see lots of things. I would get visions from my deceased loved ones. They would talk to me. I would see things that they would send me, and I know it was them. And then the council would start showing me visions of future events, visions of everything in my life. I would get premonitions, downloads. They would start talking to me about the future. And I started drawing them. I started taking notes with all of them. And I started receiving visions and downloads about what my work was supposed to be. And so I received, in the middle of the night, I heard spirit calling, just whispers. And I got up, and I learned by then to either record it or to write it down. And I wrote it down. And in the morning, I went and bought the domain, and I just tucked it away. Like, this is how I was living it by this point. And I kept, in my work every morning, they kept telling me I'm going to build a portal. And I was like, what is a portal? I build websites. I don't know what a portal is, like, honestly. And they're like, you're going to build a portal. There's going to be a glass ceiling. Psh, that breaks. People are going to stop in their tracks. They're not going to know who and what it is they've believed in their world. They're going to fall to their knees because their whole world is going to be rocked. They're going to need a safe place to land. Humanity, really, humanity. It's for the world. Like, I mean, they're huge statements. It was like, me? You really? I've come so far in embodiment with this because it's just been proven to me over and over and over again because I put the courage out. And I know now I flex that muscle so many times. By the end of about a year of hearing about this, I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw these little wings landing on an iPhone screen. And I got up and I drew them. I had pencils, colored pencils. And I went, oh my God, that's spirit calling. That's the wings. That's the portal. That's the app. Like, it's all the things together. They've been telling me. Somebody asked me to go on GoDaddy or something for their account. I went on GoDaddy. I forgot that I bought the domain. Like, it all just went in my head at the same time. And finally, they were like, you need to build the portal. You need to build the portal. Hello, you need to build the portal. You need to. And I'm like, I can't. I just married an 18-year-old business with a new business partner. I'm a little busy right now in build mode. You need to build the portal. You need to build the portal. And one day I put my hands up in the air and I said, fine, I am your humble servant. Send me the money, send me the people, send me all the things that I need and I will do it. This woman came out of nowhere in my neighborhood. She was a Reiki person, Reiki master. Spirit sent her to help me kick the can down the street or whatever while I was doing, like, they do what they need to do to get me to do what I need to do. So I was in build mode over here, launching a new business, migrating clients from an 18-year-old business. And here I am over here building this community. And she really like helped me manage it and do all the things, but it was my vision. And I said, you want me to take a line of credit out on my house? It's the only thing I own. It's the only thing I have. I lost everything in the recession. I just got divorced. I lost everything. We had no savings. We had no 401k or retirement. We lost it all. This is the only thing that I have that's worth of value. And you want me to take money out of this? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. That's how much I believed in him. I took a line of credit out on my house And I said, okay, now send me the people. I went to a fun Yannick call, and I'm in the call and all the boxes with all the people, and this one box is screaming at me. And when it came to like, like who has something to share? And I said, well, I don't know what you do, Tim, but I'm supposed to meet with you. And here's my calendar link. I'd love to meet with you. Because Pamela, I build online communities. And I was like, of course you do. So I hired him to help express all of this out of me, do the mind map, do the creation, do it, and then build it. It actually launched in January of 2024. And right before it launched, in May, of 2023, I woke up in the middle of the night, Julie, and I saw a for sale by owner sign on my home, the front lawn of my home. They told me how much to sell it for. They told me cash as is. And I went, yeah, I'm not ready to sell my house. I don't want to sell it till next year. I have another year here. My kids got to go to college. I want to do holidays, like all the things. No, as is, this is how much you're going to sell it. And I finally said, fine, I do that. I do that. I'm like a belligerent teenager sometimes. I'm like, I don't want to do this. And they're like, So I was like, okay, okay. I wrapped my head around it. I walked across the street to bring my dog to a play date with a puppy date. My neighbor says, what are you going to do when Penelope goes to college? I said, I just decided this morning that I'm going to sell my house. She goes, really? I said, yeah. She goes, do you know my father loves that house? Do you know, I bet you he would be interested in purchasing it. He's a builder, and he knew the woman that lived there. They already had a second story plan to put on the house. I sold it in hours for exactly what I wanted, cash. I could pick my closing dates, and I didn't have one penny that I had to put towards anything, as is. I mean, that's how much I believe in it. I do what I'm told, and I'm led to continue to walk this path. So I'm being told to leave my business. I'm selling it to my business partner, and I'm moving fully into this space next year. And it's what's next, Joel. It's like, this is what's next, right? Yeah, I don't know what's next. I have so many stories like that, by the way, like the way I met my beloved. I have so many stories, one after the other. Go on a dating app. No, I'm visiting my mom in Florida. Why do you want me to go on a dating app? Go on a dating app. I'm like, I don't do that. She'll get annoyed. Go on a dating app. So I'm like, Mom, I think I should go on a dating app. I was visiting her for a weekend in the winter. She's like, she looks at me, she goes, I would like that for you. I go on a dating app. She and her girlfriends, the Golden Girls, are swiping. And my mom chooses my beloved now. He was also in Florida for a weekend, traveling through Florida. And I know, it's like, it's incredible. So what have we all learned from this conversation? You got to trust and listen, and put fear at the back burner, and put courage and faith and trust at the front, and just continually flex that muscle and let it present itself and prove itself to you. Mm-hmm.
Woo, girl. Wow.
I know.
Wow. There's more stories. I mean, we're gonna need like part two with you, Pamela, because I'm like, I love these stories are so important, so beautiful, so
Yeah.
powerful. What I hear is, radical courage.
Yeah.
And as somebody who, not the same story, but there's a similar thread, it's like people ask me about my plan and my business plan. I'm like, I have no idea because I'm waiting to hear what's next. I don't
Yeah.
know. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a trust, as you said, there's a surrender. I
Mm.
love listening to what you're saying. And the other thing is better than you expected and working
Yeah.
out, right? Like going to Costa Rica, that whole experience, you're
Yeah.
finding your beloved and like both are visiting and your mom swipes on him, the house selling, like
I
you
know.
can't make this up.
Mm-mm. You can't make it up. You really can't.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
So for a minute, because before we do the channel message, so the Great Council of Light, lots of practice, lots of healing, lots of what I heard too was, it's not about perfection and it's about there's an intention and being willing, right? We're willing to say, I even think of it like fear can be there. Don't let it drive. Let
Yeah.
it be in the back seat. Don't let it usurp your
Yeah.
your heart's purpose, your soul's light. Like I just keep feeling for you, Pamela, and this is for all of us. Actually, anyone's listening, because we're
Yeah.
all, we're all in the same soul family. We are. If someone's
Hmm.
listening, if you're still with us right now, we love you. A and B, you're here for a reason. We're here at this time. Our soul chose it,
Yeah.
and what I think is so beautiful and so cool is the way there's a willingness. Like I'm gonna be in that pain. I'm gonna be in that discomfort. I'm going to allow myself to let the egoic structure, just let it leave, let it go to the side. And I think it's very interesting. You talked a lot, when you spoke last week, about singing and starting at 37. It's interesting. You kept talking about your throat chakra. I'm like, isn't that fascinating that the area that maybe in past lives was cut off literally or strangled, or
Many times. Yep.
I can feel this like now. It's interesting. Mine looks really different than yours, but I can tell you this whole podcast, I feel like the divine was like, you must do this. You
Yeah.
have to. I was
Yeah.
like, you got to be kidding. What are you talking? This is before anyone did it. I'm like, what are you talking about? What is
Yeah.
this? But we listen, and it's a healing. It's a healing for your throat chakra and your speaking. And I keep hearing, it reminds me of the shirt that I think Brian was wearing, like heal one, heal
Yeah.
all.
Hmm.
As you do this, all of us have
Yeah.
a beautiful, there's a blessing and a miracle and a healing for each of us. So that
It is.
courage rebels.
Yeah, it does. It's so interesting, Julie, because um that's how I feel like this whole experience. I'm not like everyone else. I'm not supposed to be like everyone else. I am not, I don't have 100 books that I've written or have read. I don't have a system. I don't have all these things. I'm not supposed to, because I'm not for that person. I am for the people who are just waking up because they see themselves in my story. And I am not supposed to be anything but that. It's the witness. It's the witness. It's the witness. And I'm fine with that because that allows me to just be authentically who it's all I can be anyway. It's just the only way that I can be. And that whole, you didn't even hear the story about the singing. You saw the picture. The picture is incredible, and I'm going to share it next week because it's actually the full cycle of that picture coming to my reality. I was, I,
Pamela was David Bowie. Let's just
yeah,
say
I did channel him though. I swear to God, I did. But
amazing.
I was trained classically in piano as a kid, which was so rigid and methodical. And, I loved it though. I loved my piano. It's where I went back over and over again when I had the hard times when I was growing up. And then I didn't do anything for the longest time. And then at 37, my friend's husband had a band and we were doing karaoke in the house one time. And he was like, you should come and sing. And I did. And then I went and sang and he's like, you can come and sing anytime you want to. And I was like, okay. And then next thing I know, I turned into singing. But then I started meeting all the other creatives, and I've joined a 26-piece David Bowie tribute band in Philadelphia. And it was all the creatives who could be weird and fun, and we could create these ideas that we had in our head. It was amazing. And I wanted to do this one song, and I had a spacesuit made, and that was scary. It was scary. It was so vulnerable. I was always afraid of forgetting my lyrics. I was like, if I look at it now, like, damn, I can sing a song, no problem now. I can get those lyrics down. Like, that's fine. Look at the stuff I have to do now. It's so much harder than that. For me, it's stepping out, stepping out, stepping out. But that was really expressing through my throat chakra, getting energy to come out, holding space, preparing me for channeling to the world, to the world. So we're 5 years out from when I just got the first download. And I am working with people all over the world. I'm igniting people. The words from the council and the messages that I share are igniting people. It's not me, but there is a transmission in my voice. People tell me, just your voice has affected me. There's something in your voice. And I mean, it's a transmission, the guides say. But I'm stepping into full embodiment. I talk to, I call him Yeshua, not
Yeah.
Jesus anymore. It changed this
Yeah.
past couple of days. It changed. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And
I
he,
feel you on this one.
yeah,
Hmm.
he has
Hmm.
always been very close to me my whole
Hmm.
entire life. but now my legs just filled out with vibration. It just changed. And we had such a moment yesterday. It was amazing. My friend, and it's like, I can't explain it. You understand it, but it's embodiment. It's the energy of embodiment that's about to happen for me in the next couple of months. No more do I have to be any role other than this to anyone in my entire life. Like, it's amazing. And they see it and they understand how they're supporting me. But it was hard for me to say that the global thing. And then it was hard for me to share the messages. And it was hard for me to allow myself to do these energy transmissions. It was hard for me to put these products out and let them get sold. It was hard for me to do this sign up for this and that. Every time you do it, you are doing more and more and more of aligning. So it could be the slightest thing. It doesn't matter. You're doing the work. And that's what I want everyone to know.
Yes.
Leaving the marriage was the hardest thing ever to do, but it was just like my dad dying. He sparked my spiritual awakening. Leaving my marriage was like everything. It gave me love for everything that followed after it.
Wow. Well, my friend, my old new, old
my old new friend.
Cool sister from another. So seriously, we're gonna figure this out. There, courage. I mean, it's just that's like coming through and everything. How would you feel to channel a message for our beloved community? I love our people. Or anyone that's, I'm going to tell you right now, because I get comments and I feel them, you feel them. We're just speaking to you. We love you. It's such a gift. We're all of the one, right?
Yes.
And so hearing you, what I love, and I'm just intending that for our beloved listener, you're sparked by Pamela, by her courage, by her, even the like, I heard a little like, who am I to affect the world? Okay, who are you not to?
Right.
We all have our version of it, and there's nothing to compare to. You get to step in as yourself. So just love that and love the message, and for each of us to be really inspired by that. It's just super powerful. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. I want to tell you what's been happening now.
Okay. Yeah.
Channeling will most definitely come through, but they've been teaching about vibration, and they want everyone to heighten their frequency. It is the only thing that matters. You can go here and study, and you can do this and study, and you can have these experiences and these adventures, but you need to heighten your frequency. Because as the world is changing, they want you to have a higher vibration so that you're not affected by all the things. That being said, they're getting frustrated and they want these energy transmissions to come out. So I can't even control it. So I'm telling you, like, channeling's kind of been going like this, and these energy transmission, DNA activation, light code activations have been coming to the forefront. And I don't know if you've had anybody on that's done light language, that's done any of this stuff. It is.
Heck yes, girl. We love it.
Okay. So it's like,
we are ready.
I'm telling you now, it's like nothing you've ever experienced before, though. So they want you to close your eyes so you can watch, but everyone, they want you to have a visceral experience, not a visual experience. It's an important part of it. And these are light codes that are already embedded in each and every one of you. These are DNA activations. These are energy transmissions. And so I'm just going to let the council come in. Yes, we are here. We are here. We are very happy to be here. Yes, indeed, we are here. We are delighted with the union of the two. Yes, indeed, remembrance of journeys once had, past lives that have been experienced. Remembrance is much like remembering your soul, remembering each other. You speak of Yeshua. Yeshua taught of love, vibration, frequency, understanding one another, presenting love at the forefront of everything and anything that you are doing and positioning within your life. Yes, indeed. Yes. We ask you now. They're starting to calm down a little bit. We ask you now to hear the words that we are about to say. As you have experienced many differences on your planet, many world events that have happened and are to come, you will experience shifts in vibration, waves that will change the frequency very quickly and easily. This is why we implore and ask you to work on your frequency, dear ones. We ask you to work on your frequency, dear ones. This is energy that's coming out now. My hands moved, and they are pulling now. Expanding. Throat chakra. I am infusing is coming out into you. So okay, I heard that is enough for today. So you see, I can't control it. It's just, it is what it is. And somebody was outside screaming right at the right time. And after what happened, so it got distracting. I hope it didn't affect anything. But you feel, I don't know if you felt anything, but it is very, very strong. And people have reactions. They start unzipping jackets and taking off layers, and they get flushed, and it's incredible.
Wow. It's something about it's an ancient energy, and it's also
It's ancient.
made me have tears. It brought I can't explain it, not necessarily a remembrance. I don't really have the right words. It felt very, very powerful,
Yeah.
very resonant. And I think there's any one of us that's tuning in. Ooh, I got chills. It's
I'm still, my crown shot, everything is just vibrating. Yeah.
wow, yes, like my whole legs, arms,
Yeah.
the energy, it just it's beautiful. It's powerful.
It is.
Wow.
So the Great Council of Light are ancient creator beings. They have a vested interest in humankind because they were a part of the creation of it.
Wow.
So they are the ancient ones. They are super powerful. I understand why I need to be conditioned, because I can hold a tremendous amount of breath. And when the toning comes out, I'm going to fill the room in San Diego next weekend. They've been showing me what they want me to do. It's going to be incredible, and I'm going to do it. Well, I'm going to do it. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm telling you this. I want to tell you something. When I work with people one-on-one, they have experiences at night. There was an activation that happened. You know, some people get up and they might have to release. They might have to do different things, vomit, whatever. It's definitely a thing. So if any of that happens to you guys that are listening, just allow it. Just allow it. And you can listen to it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Pamela and friends, because all of you. This feels divine appointment. The way we met, and I will say, what I'm seeing is all of you, our listener, wherever you are, like this wave of energy. It's really beautiful. I wonder if you can see, like, we are all part of this wave. We're all part of this wave of we said yes, and it's I feel like they are aware and are speaking to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone gets a healing and something. Yeah, I could feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's still going. My legs and everything are going.
You're so courageous, girl. This takes a lot of courage, to say yes, to allow. I was thinking, wow, if and when that's ever something that comes through me, like, yeah, there's a little bit of like, I'm just gonna allow myself.
You're gonna allow it.
burping in public. Like, all
Yeah.
right, we're just going, just letting it rip.
I know. It's
And
so
it's
funny.
awesome.
I know. And I'm like, I haven't been working out. I had no time. I've been running 2 businesses. Like literally, I'm walking on the beach in my bathing suit and I don't give a crap. Like this has
Yeah.
opened me up for like so many other things that are just so much harder than like being just human and walking around in my bathing suit. You know what I mean? It just
awesome.
makes you have so much perspective.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you also, like this is just since August or June, July, and August. This is just
Wow.
new, and
Wow.
I've been healing people. It's incredible. It's incredible. Wombs are the thing. I didn't even tell you that womb activation. I'm healing. It's incredible, Julie. It's just the beginning. Instantaneous healing is next. That's what they said.
Oh, girl, we're gonna do part 2. I'm
We're
gonna
gonna hang out.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out. I mean, this is literally, yeah, no, you guys can't tell. I love Pamela. She literally, I was like, I've known you since I was really little, and we did sleepovers
Yeah.
and did like crazy shit together.
Yeah.
It's fun thing.
Went through the sprinklers. We did it all.
Yes, we had like shrinky dinks and all that, like anything creative. Oh my God, I don't know where that came from. Anyways, you're gonna come back. We have to do this round 2 because I wanna keep up with the
For
gifts that are
sure.
emerging. And I think at some point, if people are interested, I'm gonna say we should do a live.
Yeah, I'll do it.
live, and we can do questions. And I'm also gonna have your info because I know people listening are gonna be like, I want to
Yeah.
have this healing and work with you. So I'll make
Yeah.
sure we got you. I'll go put
For
that in there.
sure. We do it once a month in our mastermind. It's a closed group for people who want to do it, and I do it
Amazing.
every month. It's so cool.
So cool. Thank you. What I'm feeling from on behalf of all of us, and I want to say that I'm aware there are many, many others listening that have gifts and intuitive abilities, that we all have our variation. Like, please know this is a reminder of what's possible.
Yeah.
The You-est you is your higher
Yes.
self evolving, emerging. So thank you though, because for who you are, what it takes massive courage. And I'm not going to say balls, I'm going to say golden ovaries.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Say that. I like that. That's
I
good.
just made that up. It takes I'm thinking of the womb. It takes like a
Yes.
stepping out of the womb. No, it takes something. It takes something. And I am so grateful how the universe works that you're here, and for all of our community and beautiful souls that are get to know you and hear you.
Amazing.
This is awesome.
I'm so happy to have met you, and thank you for having me booked before we met, and for whatever comes in the future that we create together with your community. I'm happy to have met you, and I love you.
Oh, I love you. Can I tell you one thing really quick actually about that? So when I get pitched a lot, and that's great, I muscle test and I use my pendulum or my body for everyone and everything. So sometimes it takes a while. I don't always get the answer. I will not make a decision. That decision I always bring in spirit, because it's not me. I'm not doing this. And it was so strong right away. And I was like, okay, like I get a lot of requests. And I remember there were a lot that day, and I got to you and it was like, boom, yes. And I'm like, wow, let me do it again. And I'm like, okay, I'm just
really, that's the
yes.
council.
That's
them. They're like,
yes. I was like, good Lord, I wear a pendulum. I always have one on me. I use my body, and I'm like, good Lord, we are a yes. So their energy, I could feel.
It's really strong.
The yes. I'm like, okay, so you're
yeah. It's amazing. So cool, Julie. Can't wait to see what we uncover for the future.
I know.
We're gonna do cool stuff down here. We can do in-person stuff, and
yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. Okay, friends. We'll be doing stuff in person.
All right.
Love you, Pamela.
Love you too. Thank you to everyone.
Yes. And love you. I always say this, but seriously, like, even if I don't know you yet, or we don't know you yet, we love you. I'm talking for Pamela too. My heart to yours. Thank you for the courage being your You-est you. It's not a small thing. It takes something, and may you continue to follow your own light. It's there. Love you. Mwah.
Yeah. Mwah.
Hey, beautiful soul. It's Julie here. Have you been craving greater stillness, deeper connection, higher guidance? Well, if so, I have created something just for you. It is called the Meditation Portal, and it is a sacred weekly experience where you'll be getting weekly new channeled meditations that are going to help you to realign, to reconnect, and to rise. They are just for you. And it is more than just a meditation. These are energetic transmissions. These are activations. They're going to help you connect to your You-est you. It's only $22 a month. You can join or cancel anytime. So head over to juliereisler.com/meditation portal to step in.